You ever think your quiet country life is bulletproof? Right up until a woman with a clipboard decides to test you? Yeah, I used to laugh at those HOA horror stories online. Figured they happened to other people. Turns out sometimes you wake up and find the nightmare's got your name on it, printed in Arial bold, stapled to your front gate. So picture this, I'm 3 days into what I thought was my new drama-free life. After 20 years in the Navy, real storms, real trouble, one real ugly divorce. I figured surviving the North Georgia woods would be a walk in the park. Bought my place straight off the county, wired the money myself, made sure every inch of dirt was mine by law. Moved in with nothing but a shipping container full of gear, a half-crazy work ethic, and a dog that only trusts 3 people on the planet. The house wasn't much saggy gutters peeling paint, a porch rail so loose you could play it like a xylophone. But it was mine. First time in a long while I could actually breathe. No bosses, no screaming, no surprise inspections. Or so I thought. That's where I was barefoot on the porch stake, sizzling sunsetting, feeling almost happy when I spotted them. 2 figures striding up the drive like they owned it. One had a clipboard. One had a vest that said HOA Patrol, as if that means a damn thing outside their little cul-de-sac kingdom. The woman led the charge. Karen, of course, it was a Karen blonde, bob khakis, pressed sharp enough to cut expression that looked like she'd been constipated since 2002. She didn't even say hi. Just tapped the fence with her pen and went straight to, "You're in violation of Willow Hills HOA policies." I swear I almost spit out my beer. Now, I try not to start fights. I just stared her down and said, "Ma'am, you've got the wrong place. This property's outside your HOA, bought from the county, not your developer." But Karen just smirked, waved a glossy brochure, and told me there was a mandatory meeting and an $8,000 initiation fee due tomorrow. Plus, apparently I was supposed to hand over my gate keys. I looked her dead in the eye and said, "Lady, unless you've got a badge or a judge behind you, you can take your HOA patrol and march it right back where it came from." She turned on her heel like she was leading a parade partner in tow and stormed off. I thought maybe that was it, a weird neighborhood welcome, but surely even she couldn't be that stubborn. Boy, was I naive. Next morning there's the barricade on my drive. Orange cones, red tape, laminated notice screaming, "Illegally occupied structure." My first reaction was to light the whole mess on fire, but you learn things in the Navy, document everything. So I took photos, logged the time, filed it all away, then shot off a polite but pointed email to the HOA and the county clerk. Evidence, evidence, evidence. No reply. Instead, that night, 3 people in reflective vests showed up at the gate, one yelling about final notice of non-compliance. I didn't bother to step outside. Just used the speaker. "You're trespassing. Please step off the property." They argued for a minute, then slunk away. If you think it ended there, you don't know Karen. The very next day, she's back. White SUV, binder in hand, standing just off my land like some sort of suburban warlord. She calls out, tells me I'm in direct violation, urges me to speak with the board before this escalates. I just held up my phone and started recording. Didn't have to wait long for the real escalation. By noon, 2 sheriff's deputies showed up with Karen and her clipboard sidekick right behind them. The deputies were all business, asked for my deed, checked the boundaries, even walked the fence line. Karen tried to argue, but the law's the law. Deputy looked her square in the face and said, "Ma'am, this land isn't in your HOA. You have no authority here." You could see her world crack a little right there on the gravel. But she didn't back down. Not Karen. She started yelling about community order and illegal occupation. Then right in front of everyone, she tore down one of my posted signs and threw it in the dirt. That was it. Deputies moved in, cuffed her for destruction of property and disorderly conduct. She screamed all the way to the car about owning the neighborhood. The deputies just shook their heads. Thought maybe, just maybe, that'd be the knockout blow. Instead, 2 days later, I get a letter. New chairperson, same HOA, printed on fancy linen like it's the Constitution. Claimed my land was improperly excluded, and they were petitioning the county to redraw the lines. They even ordered me to halt all construction. I laughed so hard I nearly choked. My attorney, Rachel, bless her, she was livid. Filed a cease and desist, gathered the old plat maps, and got a court order barring any HOA member from stepping on my land. Meanwhile, I upgraded the cameras, doubled the locks, and kept documenting. Didn't take long for them to get dirty. Flyers in my mailbox stapled to trees stuffed under my windshield. Jordan Reeves refuses to comply. It got so bad I had to burn a whole stack just to keep the property looking decent. Then it got criminal. Middle of the night, motion sensors go off. I watch on the monitor as two figures dark jackets with HOA patrol and enforcement patches creep across my yard. One tries to break into my storage shed with a crowbar. I light up the yard with every floodlight I own, hit the siren, and watch them scatter. Cameras caught their faces, plates the works. Turned out it was Karen's son Kyle and one of her loyalists. Sheriff's office didn't waste time, arrested both by sundown. Rachel filed for a restraining order. County suspended all HOA petitions until the criminal case was resolved. But the board kept trying. Emergency meetings, new filings, even forged maps. Rachel's contacts caught them red-handed digital watermarks from after Karen's arrest uploaded from Kyle's house. I sent everything to the county inspector general. The hammer finally dropped. A judge voided all their fraudulent documents, barred the HOA from ever contacting me again, and charged Karen with fraud, impersonation, and sabotage. She settled for $175,000 in damages and a lifetime ban from HOA boards. A month later, the HOA dissolved. The fancy homes, the rules, the patrols gone. Just some overpriced real estate and a pile of angry, embarrassed neighbors. I put up a new sign at my gate: private land, not HOA property. Trespassers will be posted online. Started a YouTube channel for kicks videos on property rights, how to fight back. Turns out there are a lot of people hungry for that kind of story. It wasn't about revenge, though. Not really. It was about not letting bullies run wild just because they've got a letterhead and a little power. About standing your ground literally when someone tries to rewrite your life with a cheap brochure and a sneer. Now the woods are quiet. No meetings, no flyers. Just me, my dog, the crackle of a fire, and the satisfaction that comes from knowing you didn't let them win. Sometimes neighbors stop by just to talk or share their own war stories. Sometimes strangers write to say thank you for showing them it's possible. But here's what I'm still wondering. Maybe you've got your own thoughts. Where's the line between community and control? At what point does keeping order turn into plain old bullying? And how many times do people need to get burned before they learn to stop handing over the matches? Let me know what you'd have done. Ever had a brush with an out-of-control HOA or a neighbor who thought the rules didn't apply to them, or maybe only applied to you? Drop your story. I'll be here keeping the porch light on just in case the next patrol wants to try their luck.